told you that Egyptologists remain uncomfortable with any genius that reveals from the equatorial African source. So, so the spelling of Africa was originally spelled as Afrika. AF standing for flesh, RA standing for sun, and KA standing for soul. And the original meaning of Africa means flesh and soul of the hidden sun. So the common spelling of Africa comes from the Arabic word firk or frick, which means to separate, divide, or conquer. Like Africa, Egypt is a name that was imposed on them when they were invaded. So, contrary to popular beliefs, the black people of the Nile Valley did not worship many gods because the stories, like I said, that you hear about the Greek and also the ancient Egypt are both false. So, the comments viewed NTR as their mother, father, creator, and the undifferentiated one, all divine, which all life emanates from. So, basically, it was a mother, father, creator. There's no male God, no woman God. It's a mother, father, creator. Okay, so who are the ancient Kemetic people? The ancient Kemetic people are the spiritual heads, teachers, motivators, guides, and originators of the planet ordained by NTR, the Most High. NTR does not stand for anything. That's just how I'm going to abbreviate it because their language is different than what you all know. So the peaceful ways and holistic nature is a model that, if properly adapted, has the ability to save this planet from mass destruction. The ancient ways of the Kemetic people can teach people to become truly homemade again. Okay. The Kemetic masters learn how to combine and unite the elements of earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. Comets live by the philosophy of Mat, which I forgot to write, means harmony. So they saw nature and their environment as an expression of NTR and an inspiration for self-healing. The Comets use the element of water through purification rites like baptism, fasting, and enemas. They use the element of earth in healing foods, herbology, and aromatherapy to purify and rejuvenate the body. They use the element of air to breathe through what was called Aryanka, which is it's now called Hatha Yoga, which is basically spiritual movements, dance, yoga, all that type of stuff. They use the element of fire to be recharged and purified during their rituals. So they eat fire foods such as leeks, onions, and cayenne, like cayenne pepper. They burn the frankincense, myrrh, cinnamon, and other herbs to smudge their bodies to destroy negative spiritual entities attracted to the body temple. And that information I got from the Egyptian Book of the Dead, written by Paul O'Rourke, or revised. The basics of the Kemetic story. So every day the Kamites maintain a healthy body by blessing and consuming the four elements, which I previously stated, to protect their body, mind, and spirit from disease. So the element of spirit is activated through meditation, also called Hesi in their language, which means chanting. The element of spirit permits all elements. So when you activate the element of spirit, you can activate the rest of the elements. So my ancestors founded a society based on the divine NTR, which kept them in a state of continual purification, meditation, wellness, and harmony of the soul, body, and mind. The earliest Kemetic people were mostly vegetarian, especially the priests and priestesses. They were vegetarian because they understood the responsibility for a pure body when you're doing spiritual work. So they mostly ate like beans, lentils, millet, nuts, and when they ate like fruits, they like dates and melons. They ate vegetables like onions, cabbage, peppers, and then they ate healing herbs like nettle, aloe, gorakola. You probably just don't know those herbs. When they were invaded by the Asian nomadic shepherds, which are called the Hyksos, more more flesh foods entered the diet, which sowed the seeds for mass deterioration upon our people. So some of their practices include the 42 laws of math. They live by these laws, and this is how they were able to maintain good society. And so I'm just gonna read them right quick. You say them. They say these laws every morning. They say I will not. In the evening, they say I have not. So I'm gonna go through them real fast. It's I will not do wrong. I will not steal. I will not act with violence. I will not kill. I will not act unjustly. I will not cause pain. I will not waste food. I will not lie. I will not desecrate holy places. I will not speak evil. I will not abuse my sexuality. I will not cause tears. I will not sow seeds of regret. I will not be an aggressor. I will not act guiltfully. I will not lay waste on the plowed land. I will not bear false witness. I will not speak against my people. I will not be wrathful or angry. I will not lay with the man's wife. I will not lay with the man's husband. I will not pollute myself. I will not cause terror. I will not pollute the earth. I will not speak in anger. I will not turn from the words of right and truth. I will not utter cusses. I will not initiate a quarrel. I will not be excitable or contentious. I will not prejudge. I will not be an eavesdropper. I will not speak over much. I will not act against my ancestors. I will not waste water. I will not do evil. I will not bless shame NTR, the one most high. I will not commit fraud. I will not defraud temple offerings. I will not plunder the dead. I will not mistreat children, and I will not mistreat animals. I was gonna let y'all read it yourself, but it came out blurry, so I had to read it. Anyway, so basically, similar to the Hunsas and the Himalayas today, my ancestors remained peaceful and unpoliced for thousands of years. So basically, you rise at the hour of Nefis, which is between the hours of 4 and 6 a.m., and you do meditation. You recite your 42 laws of math, and you go on about your day very peacefully. The Kemetic people, they had powerful ways of bringing our spiritual bodies into balance and healing. It was done by giving us sacred words to speak in our meditations to evoke the resurrection of our soul. The Kemetes use beauty, art, music, dance to elevate the spirit. They were the originators of the guitar, the harp, the tambourine, and the drum. Art was seen as a beautiful, holy expression for these people. Today we celebrate many ceremonies and rituals, like when I talked to y'all about the new moon rituals and the full moon rituals and stuff like that. Okay. So the Kemetes are the original Lotus people. Lotus people are sweet, beautiful, aluminum people who are spiritual and compassionate. This is a picture of Osiris. Oh, it came out blurry, but he's always envisioned with a lotus flower growing from his foot. He's one of the original lotus people. And also, this is a lotus flower. Some of y'all probably know what a lotus flower is, but when you're meditating, some meditations will ask you to envision yourself in the middle of the lotus flower. So, basically, I don't know pretty much it. And that information came from Kenneth Grant, which was from another Egyptian Book of the Dead. So an overview is that tragically the Kemetic people lost their way thousands of years ago, but some of us still seek to remember to physically grow and blossom by turning to our ancient ways. The Kemetic people were very spiritually attuned before foreigners began to plague the land and destroy their spiritual wealth. Kemetic people were the people who gave the world science, math, reflexology, art, music, and dance. They also taught humanity, astronomy, and astrology. Some common misconceptions based on the studies of Egyptology are the belief that Egyptian people picked up the art of agriculture from early Neolithic farmers in the Mesopotamia. Another common tendency or mistake by Egyptologists is to speak of Africa and Egyptians as if they are not one. So our exhausted civilization existed for untold millennia before the inhabitants of the northern zone were ever heard of. When the Northerners finally succeeded in conquering the African ones, whether it was the Persians of 525 BCE, Great Alexander of 330 BCE, or Roman Anthony and Caesar of 30 BCE, they lacked the cultural and spiritual astuteness to sustain the Maishim, which means in this case righteous, principles of the Kemetic civilization. So there is a whole bunch of different timelines that basically when Egyptologists study it, nobody can figure out exactly when they originated. All we know is that they were there way before anybody else, but everybody has a different timeline when they're studying it. And all that information was given by E.A. Wallace Budge, he also wrote an Egyptian Book of the Dead. So the culture was not religious. Religion is modern, whereas spirituality is Moorian. So the word religion is drawn from the Latin word religio or religere, which means to tie back or to tie again. It was those who saw themselves as alienated from the divine who invented religion. Since the Kamites saw their lives as intrinsically connected to the divine, there was no reason to be tied down. Okay, so important takeaways. People ask, if the ancient Egyptians were so great, how did they fall? So firstly, the evidence of the Kemetic glory and the downfalls was captured on the walls. Like, I tried to print y'all out some of these too, but everything's coming out black, so. And the Kamite rose and fell because no civilization can escape the law of cycles. The law of cycles is what goes around, comes around, what goes up must come down to rise again. So the signs pending the fall of the glory are mirrored on the walls through the killing of animals for food and sacrifice, as well as the killing of humans, as my peaceful people were forced to go to war to defend themselves when people were trying to invade them. So, okay, we focus on the times of Swali, which means unity. I should have wrote that. Our motto, which is our motto. And where there is unity, there is healing taking place. So today humanity is disunified, therefore sick with violence, pestilence, and war, and it must be healed. The rebirth of the Nubian Kemetic Maishim Persian is upon us. Once we overcome the Egyptological preoccupation with the dates and the dynastics, all humanity can access Twali, which means to heal thyself, know thyself, love thyself, be yourself, as the Mayans were. So, if you honestly wanted to learn about the originators of the Kemetic culture and the civilizations, you have to go to the oldest writings, which is originally called the African Holy Book of Coming Forth from Day and Night, but it was misnamed the Egyptian Book of the Dead. So, that's it. This is the last thing. So basically Christianity, what I forgot to say about the 42 laws was that Christianity, our culture was around, as you can see, BCE, way before Christ. So they kind of stole our symbol, and they also, the 10 Commandments was a leech off of the 42 laws of math. So.
Good. Any questions?